everybody, Dave here, new to speakers. We've got a quick project for you, one that you may want to take on at home. I picked up this Sony subwoofer. It is a SA-WMSP2. It's an 8-inch 50 or 60 watt subwoofer. Case was a little beat up. I've done the prep on the case, and when I say beat up, let me show you what I mean. So here's something you might find frequently if you go to a garage sale or a yard sale. You know, particle board, vinyl covered, and it's had a rough life. The corners are been abused a little bit. Vinyl's peeling. You know, maybe had a little water separation, a little water in there, damaged it. So I've already done the filling of the corners. You can't necessarily see the repairs I did, but we used our plastic wood filler. Then I paint the wood filler. Actually, I seal it with PVA glue and paint it. And this thing had all 4 corners, all 8 corners actually, front and back were dinged up pretty good. Here you come in a little closer, you may be able to see this repair right here. You get in here, you can see that. So this is all built up material and filled and painted, and that rear plastic cover will cover everything but the corner on that. This was a working subwoofer. It just looked terrible, and in fact the grill itself was also I did recover the grill, so that's got a nice new cloth on it. And all that's left, and the box was scratched up, and yes, you could repaint it and you wouldn't get the texture quite right, but we're just going to use a little vinyl wrap. All right, this is available very inexpensively, less than 50 cents to $1 a square foot, and so we can recover this box for a little over just a few dollars. This particular one is Fun Stick brand. So really all we need to do to finish this project is cut a piece for the entire circumference, because the front grill and that back cover, none of the vinyl is exposed on the front or back. It's only on the 4 sides. So we've cut a piece to go around the full circumference. We're going to get out the heat gun, also known as a hair dryer, make sure it's tacked down well, and cut the seam and put it all back together. We've done some additional prep here, which I neglected to mention. The prep is everything with this project. You have to make sure everything is secured. You have to make sure there's no dust or dirt, because the tack paper will not adhere if there's dust. This is some of the remaining wood filler. I didn't repaint it, but what I did do is, this is where the PVA glue is over it. So we've got a squared up corner here. This corner had opened up a little bit, and we filled that with wood glue, made it into a proper square again, and it's ready to cover. So the ideal tool is a wallpaper seam roller. I don't have that. We're just going to use a round dowel today, and old credit card. It's helpful for pushing out bubbles, making sure you have a high pressure contact point there. Plastic, it will not damage your vinyl. So we're just going to simply start by pulling back the first couple inches of the backing paper, starting on one edge. And fold that under. Then we want to make sure we're square. Once we know that we're square, then we can start applying. We've got overhang, we've got square. Start in the middle, work our way out. So half of that first side is now done. We'll use our wood dowel. Now we can rotate our box to the next side. We'll pull our backer and just start working, make sure we're looking good for squareness. We are. So here's a key area is you want to get a sharp edge on this corner. So you've got to roll it carefully. Make sure you get sticking all along that edge. You want to come along with your sharp edge. Always work from the center to the outside. I'm just going to keep going down the middle here. And I'll show you, we'll use an X-Acto knife and we'll trim off the excess on the front and back after we've completed our seaming. Just watch out for bubbles. Pretty straightforward, not really too much else you need to do. Okay. Roll. Okay, that looks good. Rotate our box. And again, this is a key area. After you turn that corner, you want to make sure you roll it nice and tight so you have no bubbles there. Keep pulling our backer off. Okay. This last edge. No, it's not the last edge. This is actually the top of the speaker. Guess I should have checked the wood grain pattern to make sure I liked the grain that was going to appear on top, but this pattern is generally quite pleasant looking, so no issues there. Final rotation. And so far I haven't had to use there's no really compound corners here, or if you had to do an inside corner or an outside corner, like a three-way corner, you may have to work a little differently more with the hair dryer, but this is going down very nicely. All right, back to the original edge where we started. Pull this back. That last edge started. This is not glossy vinyl, so it's actually a satin matte type finish to it, so that's a little more forgiving when you do this kind of project. As long as you like the appearance, you should be okay. So you can see we've got an overlap of a couple inches, and what we'll do is we'll put this down, and then we'll do a single knife cut through both layers, and that will give us a perfectly hidden seam. Now, that doesn't mean that the grain's going to match up perfectly. It won't, but it is on the bottom, so not that big a deal. All right, let's push this out. Okay, next step, X-Acto knife. You get a proper length straight edge, and we'll zip this off. Overlap seam. Just going to start the edge here. Through both. Get out to the edge here. Okay. So we'll consider that the waste piece. So that means what we really need to do is pull off our underlying piece here. Bit on this side, it's a little easier. I am trying not to get my fingers to touch the adhesive area that's going to stick to the box. So pulled off that underlying strip, and now we should have a perfect seam. Doesn't match the grain perfectly, but it's a perfect mating of the vinyl. All right, we're almost done. I'm just going to get the corners here. Really don't have to do the corners. We're just going to stick our blade in, come up through each corner, and we're just going to use that as we're going to use the edge of the box as a guide to where our vinyl is going to be trimmed. We can come along after and tighten it up if we have to. So that looks good. So let's see one little spot here where I went a little deep, and I've taken off a little touch of the paint that I had just applied. So we'll touch that up with a Sharpie. Finish this side. You want to have a sharp X-Acto knife, certainly. And we are going to go over this with the heat gun, especially the corners, edges, and we'll make sure it's tacked down as much as is appropriate. Do the corner. I'll have a little rough spot right there. We'll have to come along. I'm going to tack that down and then trim it off again. My blade. 2 little spots to touch up with the Sharpie. All our corners are done. We'll put it back together. Just see if you can get a look at that seam. Out really nice. Okay, there we have it. Our rear cover has been reattached. I'm going to tack that down. I've still got to put the feet on, but I wanted to spin it around for you. Our front grille, and there might be enough control baffle. Let's see. With the port has been reattached. I have to catch up on that. You can see it gives it a rotate, a whole new look. So obviously, depending on what your decor is, you may want to choose something that matches what you have. And I live in a beachy kind of area, so this white oak, whitewashed white oak should fit the bill just right. So here you can see on the back side, all the particle board is exposed. So there you can see, you want to have a nice looking up there. Rear edge on the front. This grille and baffle assembly covers that edge. So could you have wrapped it around for fully seamless? Sure, but you know, typically these sit off in a corner or in a bottom of a cabinet somewhere, and that's all there is to it. So if you enjoyed this video, please like it and consider subscribing to New to You Speakers. We'll try to put out videos every couple weeks, and hopefully you enjoyed this one. It's a very rewarding, you know, half an hour, a couple dollars, and you can really have something that looks fresh and modern, fits in with your existing decor. Thanks a lot. Bye.